Hey there! We decided we needed a mural in the doghouse. So I did a drawing and I'll be transferring it onto the wall and showing you how to do that, and then painting it and then glittering it at the end. Today I'll be taking my drawing and using graphite transfer paper. This is from Speedball. You can find it online. Super useful for transferring images. If you don't have it, you can always rub the back of your drawing with a stick of graphite and then draw on top of that to do the transfer. But I'm going to be using the graphite paper, and right now I'm just trying to figure out the precise alignment that I need to put it on the wall. If I don't want it too high, I don't want it too low, so figuring that out, and then I'll be transferring it. Alright, now that I have the design laid out and I know what I want, I saw it on the wall in there and I know how I want it to look, I have brought it to the table and I'm going to be using vellum. It's gridded vellum, and I'm going to be tracing the whole thing, and so I don't have these messy thick pieces of paper over my transfer paper. I just want one clean layout, and I have this roll. It's vellum paper, it's translucent. It does have grids, which is helpful for some projects. I'll be using just about 5 feet of it for this project. And it'll really just help me see the whole thing without the messy tape and everything. Okay, as you can see, I've put up the transfer paper in the spots we'll need it. It's roughly where one dog is and then the other dog. So now I'll be putting up my vellum to make the trace. One thing that I forgot to mention too is that when you put down your transfer paper, you want the dark side going onto your surface and the white side facing you. Now I'm going to try to transfer my drawing onto the wall. The transfer paper is underneath, the vellum is on top. I'll be using this tool. It's a embossing stylus tool. It's a round ball on the end of the stick. The pencil I was using wasn't hard enough for the plywood, so I'm just going to press extra hard and try to get this to come through. I'm pressing very, very hard with this tool. Okay, as you can see, my lines turned out. They're faint, but I can see where I'm going. I forgot to do the ear there, so I'll have to just fudge that. I'll have to come in and look at the drawing again. But this is good enough to work with, and so now I'll just go over them with pencil and make them a bit darker. Alright, so I've darkened my lines here. I fixed the ear, and now I'm going to come in and seal it all with a product called Matte Finish. It's an acrylic medium, and I like to use matte because it doesn't smear the graphite too bad. So I'll be using a soft brush and lightly going over my lines. Alright, that should set the lines in, and I'll come back later with a wash, and then I'll start doing detail in the dogs. Today I am glittering the mural. I've painted enough in, and I'm going to start glittering the sky and doing a couple accents on the dogs and maybe some gold around the border. So I'll be using this foam brush, a small foam brush, and Gloss Luster Mod Podge. It's mostly going to be accent layers, but I do want to get some decent coverage, and I have a drop cloth down so that it won't get everywhere. But it's at an angle, so I'm gonna have to lay my glue down and then quickly put blow up to get the glitter to stick, because I can't really do the pour at this angle. All right, here I go. So I'm gonna like get the edges pretty good, and then I'm gonna do kind of wisps of it elsewhere. But because I have to work pretty fast before the glue dries, I'll just be doing small sections. Okay. And I totally got it in my mouth. Okay, but it looks like it's working pretty good. So I'll keep going. It's a nice accent cover. I used mostly Apollo's Chariot, a little bit of Azure Sky, and a little Silver Sparkle. So it's not a super dark. It kind of blends in nicely, which was what I was going for. So a little bit more. Here's the color. A mix I made of Apollo's Chariot, so Silver Sparkle, and Azure Sky. So I'll do one more layer, try to see my glue. So there's my first layer. I'm liking it so far. Just a highlight sparkle, but it doesn't cover up my paint too much. So I'll just keep on doing that and then get to the dogs. Okay, another method to apply the glitter on an angle like this would just be to make a glitter glue. I put my glitter into the bowl, and I'll add about an equal amount of glue, and I'll just make a glitter glue to also demonstrate that, and it might just be easier on this angle. But I really like the look of the blown glitter, just because it makes it look really really rich and thick and poppy. So this is just with the glitter glue. I'll be adding this. Okay, for some of the ground, I've mixed up this gecko green and shamrock green from Glitter My World, and I will be applying it to the areas that have green. This is going to be very sparse. I'm just going to do a small accents for these. It looks really great when you do the blow technique, but it is something to keep in mind that it gets everywhere and you end up breathing some in sometimes. So that's just a word of caution about that method. So sometimes if it's over my head, I found that was a little bit of a risk. So just doing this, like laying the glue down and then just dipping your brush into the glitter and spreading it that way also works. It's a really beautiful effect, the blowing, but you have to, if you make sure you're in a well ventilated area, and just be mindful of that. Also, after you blow, if you step away, you have less of a chance of inhaling your glitter.